What's the wildest reason someone gave for draining a shared bank account? My husband is the only man I could find that not only worked as many hours as I did, but made the same amount of money as me too. That might not sound like much, but when you make 6 figures a year, men will try to capitalize on that. Not only by asking to split the bill 50-50, which I was fine with, but they'd also guilt me into paying for everything. Their holidays, their home renovations. Both of my exes also did this thing where they'd text once in a while asking why they weren't getting flowers. Like, okay buddy, you want backshots too? I honestly thought the male generation had been destroyed by the sassy men apocalypse. Luckily my husband Jack proved me wrong. He'd take me out on dates twice a week and tell me that all I had to do was get ready and be there. He was literally perfect. My man. So when we were 2 years into our marriage and I got a promotion at work, Jack was the first one I told. Baby, that's even more money than I make, he exclaimed. I nodded and we proceeded to go to the Capitol Grill in New York City. When the bill came around, I expected him to put his card down like always. Instead, he practically fled to the bathroom. Little did I know that was the first turning point of our marriage. Usually we'd get home at around the same time, but after that I'd come home to find him already on the couch watching a basketball game. So when this happened for weeks in a row, I asked him what was going on. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I cut my hours in half at work. He said it like it was the most casual thing ever. I'm sorry, honey. I just figured that since you're earning so much, there's no need for us both to work so hard anymore. The more he talked, the more it made sense. You see, at some point I will be pregnant and taking care of our newborn babies, so it's only fair that my husband gets the chance to take time off too, right? But then he stopped getting out of bed in the mornings, started asking me to send him money for meals under $20. I was at work while thinking about this, and my friend Megan told me I had to confront Jack. I honestly was going to keep putting it off, but when I came home I saw Jack slumped over on the couch. He looked like he had been playing FIFA for almost the entire day. I lost it. Jack, what the actual F? He looked up at me and his eyes were filled with sorrow. Baby, I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. The day you got a promotion, I quit my job. Honey, why? Can we please not talk about this right now? He cut me off. I sighed. His mouth was covered with what looked like layers of nacho cheese Dorito dust. The room smelled like a sweaty carcass. His butt had sank so far down into the sofa I thought he might disappear, but I respected his wishes and went to bed. Well, kinda. I waited until he was asleep and logged onto our shared savings account. I needed to see if we would be okay until he found another job. Spoiler alert, we would not be. Turns out my husband had drained over $50,000 in just 6 months, all labeled as an unknown expense. I bit down on the inside of my cheek until I tasted red. I know the rational explanation was to assume infidelity, but something in me knew that Jack wouldn't do that. When 6 a.m. hit, I couldn't take it anymore. I shook him awake. Jack, you need to explain right now why you quit and what exactly you spent $50,000 on. His eyes blinked slowly, so I poured water on his head. Okay, I'm sorry. My plan to stay calm was immediately thrown out the window. I've been taking care of her, and she wanted me to send her money too. Who's her? Anger filled my eyes. Suddenly the volume of his voice lowered and he turned super quiet before saying, my mother. What the F? His mother had died when he was a child. He never even spoke about her. She's still alive, honey. I'm sorry. I slumped over and buried my head in my hands. Jack didn't say anything, just pulled up the sleeve of his shirt. I instinctively began to trace his scars with my fingers. Honey, these aren't from when I used to climb trees or run around in the park. They're from my mother. I looked up at him and saw tears streaming down his face. Every mark on my body is from my mother, all from when I was a defenseless child. Suddenly, it all clicked. Why he flinched at every sound, why he always apologized for things that weren't his fault. But it didn't explain the money. We hadn't talked since I moved out, but for the last year she's been begging me for financial support. I covered his mouth. I didn't want him to explain anymore. I wanted him to know that I trusted his decision-making. I'm sorry, baby. He held me while we both cried into each other's arms, but our moment was interrupted, because that's when Jack got the call. It was his mother. He picked up straight away, and she begged to move in with us, on the grounds that she was going to die soon, and didn't want to spend her last moments alone. I whispered to Jack that it was up to him, and he said yes. But I soon realized why Jack pretended she was dead for so many years, because after just a week of living with her, our lives had gone from almost perfect to a living hell. The rest of the full story is on my channel.